Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is still the 18th of July. It is Tuesday, 2023. We got some breaking news for you guys. We're in big trouble. We're in big trouble. I'm going to go over some numbers with you. I'm going to talk about some things, and I definitely want to hear your feedback on this. The Strategic Oil Reserve was put in place in the 1970s after the whole thing with OPEC and the manipulation and all that stuff back then. And if some of you may remember the long gas lines and having, depending on what your license plate number was, even or odd, you couldn't go every other day to get gas. It was craziness, okay? Just absolute craziness. So they initiated the Strategic Oil Reserve to hedge against any of those type of things, right? So I'm just trying to see. So when they filled the Strategic Oil Reserve, price of barrel was $30 a barrel when they did that, okay? So we're going to now go to 2021. The Strategic Oil Reserve was sitting at 638 million barrels of oil at the start of 2021, right? They have sold so much oil. So right now our Strategic Oil Reserve is sitting at 347 million barrels. That's right now. At the start of this year, we were sitting at 373 million barrels, and we've already sold off, another almost 30 million barrels of oil this year. That's more than 300 million barrels from the peak, folks. Okay, more than 300 million. Bought at $30 a barrel, sold at about $79 a barrel. They said that it was done to help bring down the oil prices when gasoline was up to $5 a gallon, and that reserve was let loose and sold to companies so that they could, utilize that. They said it brought oil or gas prices down like 40 cents a gallon. Okay, that's what they say. All right. As far as I know, the last time I checked, gas prices are still much higher than they were when Biden took office. $2.20 something a gallon, and we're still above $3.50 a gallon now. So, and that's after coming off that peak of $5 a gallon. And I know it's different in different parts of the country. Okay, 346.8 million barrels is where we're at right now. Gives us about 18 days in case of an emergency usage. Right? Something goes down, something happens. We got about 18 days right now because we are only sitting on 346.8 million barrels of oil. The problem is, now supposedly they were going to start buying back. They had a plan in December that by February we're going to buy 3 million barrels back. Well, that obviously didn't happen. They've continued to sell off, right? What else has happened? Saudi Arabia has cut production. Russia has cut production. Saudi Arabia actually announced that they're going to cut production again. They want the oil prices higher. They want higher prices. The problem with too is the infrastructure in which we house our Strategic Oil Reserve. It's definitely a problem there. Let's see. Okay, to refill it would be, like I said, we're looking at over 300 million barrels to reach the peak that it had in 2009. And if you guys remember, and I want you to remember this because everything is important, everything is, when oil prices were cheaper, when Trump was in office, he wanted to refill the Strategic Oil Reserve. If you guys remember that, right? Congress and Senate said no, wouldn't let him do it. And so now Biden gets in and he's been selling off our oil reserve like crazy. Part of the problem is too, there was an agreement reached with when Obama was in office. I don't know if you guys knew this, that we were to have sold, I think, 58 million barrels of the strategic oil reserve by 2025 or something like that. Well, obviously they've done way more than that, okay? And that was part of that agreement back then. You can look that up if you don't believe I'm telling you the truth, because why would I lie? I looked all this information up, okay? Real problem here, guys, is this. The strategic oil reserve was put in place for a reason, and they're selling it off like crazy, which puts us, the United States of America, in a very vulnerable place once again. They're basically saying it will take decades to refill the strategic oil reserve. Okay, and depending on what the price of that oil is that we're buying back to refill it, we're talking about a tremendous amount of money. Now, I have a couple questions, and you guys can, I don't know if you have the answers, probably not, but these are questions that I think that are important. Where did all that money go from all that sale of 300 million barrels of oil since 2021? Where's all that money gone? What did they use it for? Right? The other thing we need to think about is, why are they, again, they're putting us in a position of vulnerability as a country. It is stupid. It is beyond stupid. The other problem that I have is we have the capability here in the United States to be an exporter of oil, but what have they done since the Biden administration has come into office? And I mean, this is not rocket science, guys. They have cut production, stopped licensing, not giving out new contracts, all that type of stuff. So it's gotten to a point where there's not a lot of that going on now, and now we are now all back to being an importer of oil. We use an average of 20 million barrels per day as a country. Okay, that's a lot of oil. That's a lot of oil. The oil's there. It's in the ground. We have access to it. And they got us handcuffed. They're not letting us get it. We are relying on countries that hate us. I will repeat that. We are relying on countries that hate us. He went there to Saudi Arabia, was kissing their behind, and they still cut production. Now he's gone to Venezuela and reached out to Venezuela, who we've put all kinds of sanctions in place for and ruined their country. Got to think about these things, my friends. We are in big, big trouble. If this continues, obviously it is continuing, they're continuing to draw down this reserve. 18-day supply is not a lot of supply. And if something major happens, we're going to be in big, big trouble. So people need to think about that, something to think about, plan for, be ready for. I'll tell you what, these bugs are absolutely relentless. So anyway, guys, I am going to jump off of here. Remember, I do want to hear your feedback on this. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Remember, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we truly will be in much, much better shape. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, she's going to come from this way. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from achieving your goals is you. That's it. If you set realistic goals and then set about to making them happen, anything is possible. So, stay focused, my friends. Keep prepping, keep getting ready. It's almost like they're purposely putting us in a position of weakness, and we're going to be in big trouble. Here she comes. See, I told you she'd come from there. She's probably all wet. She went down to the spring, I guarantee it. Did you go down to the spring? Huh? Are you all wet? Are you all wet? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. No, you're not. Okay, good girl. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.